You are now tuned into The Launch, where we help you build engaging and meaningful brands, including entrepreneurship, branding, launching new products, digital marketing, and the strategies that you need to launch and grow your business. Watch us live on Facebook and Instagram at The Launch Radio, or listen live on 95.3 FM or 1470 AM, or the iHeartRadio app. Have questions? Call in at 888-565-1470 or post your questions on Facebook Live. Now, let's get started.
What's up? This is John Bejarano, and welcome to episode 2 of The Launch, where we help you launch and build the business of your dreams. Very exciting show, guys.
Episode 2, baby.
That's right. We're going on 2.
This is pretty exciting.
Yeah. So,
and TGIF, everyone. Happy
Yes,
Friday.
happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah. You guys got plans after this?
Yes, we are camping this weekend.
That's
How
right.
about you, Jose?
Just spending time with the family.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah. After this, we're actually
Family
heading
time.
straight to camp.
That's right.
From here. So, in case you guys missed the last episode, just want to reintroduce ourselves really quick before we get started on this very exciting show, which we're going to be talking about building your e-commerce empire. What that means, I'll tell you in a sec. So, Gisa, tell us about yourself really quick.
Yeah, so my name is Maria Gisa Espanol, but you can call me Gisa. It's like saying Lisa, but with a G. I specialized in customer experience. So I'm a customer experience designer. So I basically make sure that, some people say that customers are always right. And I say that customers are the key to success. So I make sure that your businesses, your products will deliver only the prime to your customers. Because at the end of the day, we're all doing this to inspire and to help our customers to live a happier and healthier lives.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I do all
Nice.
day, every day.
Yes. And Jose, what about you?
Yeah, and my name is Jose Victor Castellanos. I do digital marketing. I'm a digital marketing expert. So what I do is I help businesses from everything from their web development to being found online through search engine optimization, through Google AdWords, through display advertising, as well as using social media now. So a lot of social media, Facebook ads, and a lot of Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So what I do is really just help businesses get out there, as well as coach business owners on how they can do it themselves.
Great.
Wow.
And my name is John Bejarano, and I am a branding strategist. And so I work with businesses for the past 15 years, all the way from startups to Fortune 100 companies, and helping them with their brand strategy, everything from naming to creating their product to go-to-market strategy, overall digital marketing, including everything from the e-commerce design to the social media to the engagement with celebrity licensing, and much more. So
That's wonderful. We are full house here.
That's
it's
right.
all star. We have the branding guy, the marketing guy, and the customer experience girl.
absolutely.
This is amazing.
So today we have a very special guest. His name is Will Mitchell. He actually is a great friend of mine for many years now. And he is amazing background. So he started his first business when he was 16 years old.
Wow.
And he started his first e-commerce business. So after that took off, he dropped out of school. And then he had a success in that area, bought other businesses. I'll let him tell you a little about that in a moment. But what we're going to be talking about is how to launch your empire e-commerce business.
That's
E-commerce is
wonderful.
huge now. It's
Yeah.
just growing every single day. More and more websites being built, more and more people selling
Yeah.
stuff online.
So you guys know Amazon is a big dominant player.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you have companies like Macy's and so on that are really hurting right now. Brick and mortar, they're losing business because of the e-commerce with Amazon kind of leading the pack.
Yeah, and a good example of that actually is PetSmart recently bought Chewy.com.
Chewy.com.
which is
that's
the
right.
largest e-commerce pet supply company in the world.
That's awesome.
Number
So is
two to Amazon, actually. So they're right up there. So PetSmart came around, paid $3.35 billion. That's
Wow.
billion with a B. And now they've, taken hold of the e-commerce world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a great weekend for
Yeah.
Chewy.
Yeah. So,
Shout out to all Chewies there.
so the question is, how can you benefit from what's going on right now? People are buying products online. It's a gold rush for e-commerce.
Yes.
How can you guys make money? And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a business model. So I want to introduce you to our guest, Will Mitchell.
Yes.
And I hope
Will.
this thing comes on so we can all hear him.
And
All
it's
right.
actually pretty
Hey,
cool.
Will. You can see him on the screen.
How's it going?
Oh,
What's
hi,
up,
Will? It's so exciting,
You
Will.
guys
I just
hear me all right?
can we hear you, Will?
Can we
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you, Will?
So I just want to share while we're trying to figure it
Your
out
son.
that Will, we are in different we're in different format. We have our cell phones, we have our Facebook here on our computer, and Will just said here excited to be on. And now you're on, Will. Welcome.
I know. It's exciting stuff. You guys, I honestly, you have one of the coolest radio shows I've seen with the fact that you're looking at me on video on Facebook Live, on Instagram Live, and listening on the radio. That's very cool. So I'm excited to be here. And obviously, I've been friends with John Bejarano for many, many years now. This guy's a true startup master.
Yeah.
I'm sure Gisa and Jose, I'm sure you guys are too. So I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
I love your shirt, by the way. Just a side comment there.
Thank you. You know, entrepreneurs, sometimes we have to be cheap, and this is a $12 shirt. I
You
got
look
about
like
50
$1
of
million
them.
bucks,
Wear 'em all the
though.
time.
I'm loving it.
absolutely. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
can hear him on Facebook.
Okay, good. All right. So we're doing it that
Yeah.
way. So Will, I mean, we've had some interesting years, from Startup Bus, and that was 2011 in South by Southwest. That was the first time that
Yeah.
we did that together. It was a lot of fun, man, and learning about your background was just incredible. So tell me a little bit more about that, like how you got into this whole thing of e-commerce. How'd you get into it?
Yeah. So it's an interesting story. I came from a very entrepreneurial background. To go way back, my parents were 17 when they had me. So, we were on public aid and, no fun. And, but by the time I was like 5 years old, my parents kind of risked everything and started their first business. And then by the
Wow.
time I was 9, they went and sold that business. So I kind of experienced this rags to riches power of entrepreneurship. And by the time I was 10 years old, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm doing with my life. I already know it. There's nothing else for me. So my quest from like 10 years old was I got to start a business, especially because I never thought that college would make me a successful entrepreneur. So I said, I got to figure this stuff out now while I'm still living under my parents' roof and, have that safety net. So went out there and tried pretty much everything you could imagine. As I'm sure most of the listeners of this show are right now, you see all these different things that are working for other people, and you get out there and you start trying things, and most of it fails. But
Yep.
but eventually, yeah, go ahead, Gisa.
Yeah, you're totally right. I see it all the time. Every
Oh,
day,
yeah,
all
yeah.
day. Instagram, Facebook, do something, and then, oh my God, maybe that can work for me. So this is great that you're actually, making us how to do it.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can help lots of people here today. So 12 years old, I heard about this kid who was selling counterfeit hair straighteners on eBay. He was making a killing doing it, and I said, you know what? That's great, because I was only 12 years old at the time, and I couldn't go out there and sell things myself because who's going to buy something from a 12-year-old? So this is one of the great things about e-commerce is you live and die by the product, right? They don't care who's behind it. They care about the product, the brand, and how they can interact with that. So I loved e-commerce and pretty much, started with counterfeits, but quickly,
Hey,
You
we all got to
graduated.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
yes. So I started with that. Eventually got kicked off of eBay and stuff with the counterfeits. But then I went into legitimate products and I've pretty much, had one foot in e-commerce ever since. So
Nice.
That's fantastic. So over the years, you've been able to really figure out the formula for e-commerce success, particularly taking products that you can repackage, that you can white label, you can private label, and sourcing them, be able to sell those on eBay, Amazon, online, and you really had a lot of success with that. So
yeah.
So let's talk about that business model. You know, let's share how it works and how other people could benefit from taking products and private labeling them online.
Yeah, would love to. So obviously the first step is always deciding that you want to do it, right?
The why.
Like you said, Amazon is just a killer business right now. I mean, they're talking about Amazon doubling in size again this year, which would make it the largest company in the history of humanity. So
no, that's crazy. Even now, it's the market cap value. Last time I checked, was bigger than Amazon. I mean, Amazon is bigger than Walmart. That's It's really crazy. And like you said in your intro, you know, I think we're actually going to see a commercial real estate crisis because all these retailers are going out of business and all of these stores are going to be empty. I mean, you drive by so many shopping centers now, and it's a ghost town. And it's not, you know, the economy's growing right now. So where is all that money going? Well, it's all going online, right? Most of the listeners of your show probably have known about Amazon for a long time, but you know, the mainstream grandma from Nebraska, she's just now realizing that she can, you know, trust Amazon to get her presents to her grandkids. She doesn't have to go out to the store anymore, and she doesn't want to. So you're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar shift that's happening right now. It's been happening for, you know, 10 years already, and I think it's going to be happening for the next 20 years because the whole retail market's going to go online, I think. And Amazon's taking 60% of e-commerce growth right now. Wow.
So for every extra dollar that someone spends in e-commerce, 60 cents is going to Amazon.
Wow.
So, you know, Amazon's just an incredible business opportunity. Over half of the revenue from Amazon is actually from third-party sellers. So it's people like you and me selling products online. That's over half of Amazon's business. So we're seeing the entire retail industry basically be segmented out and carved out, and you know, people like your listeners are the ones that are benefiting as long as they want to.
That's amazing. So let's dive into the business model. You know, so how can someone get started in making money online on Amazon?
Yeah, like what are the things, Will, that someone may need to start this? You know, what will be the MVP, the most viable,
minimum viable
product? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great way to think about it, too. You know, the things that I always see when people get started with this business model is they think it's going to be really expensive, which it just isn't. And I'll explain all these in a second. But they think it's going to be very expensive. They think it's going to be a nightmare to deal with all this inventory and shipping things overseas and international business. They just assume that's going to be a nightmare. So what I really recommend for people is, you know, the first step is to really just jump on and start researching products. Once you understand the opportunity, you're inspired, and you say, you know what, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to take advantage of this massive growth that's happening with Amazon right now. Once you make that decision, I think you got to start researching. And the way that I research, I have I call it the product research workbook. But basically what I'm looking at, I'm looking for new products, right? You have to think about the product life cycle. Something like the iPhone, right? When it first came out, no one owned the smartphone market. The market share was just out there. So you could go out there and start selling any smartphone, and people would probably buy it. You know, fast forward to today, smartphones are a mature market. So now you have to compete with Apple, Samsung, and Google, pretty much. So you want to find these newer markets that don't have massive market share players yet. So maybe it's things like a product that we're going into right now is bath bombs and bath salts, because there's really only one player, Lush, and they're killing it. Why is no one selling these things online?
Wow. So meaning if, you know, in 2017, if I start today, I'm not late in the game. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so at all. Like Jose said, you know, it seems like every day there's more and more retail players falling, and you know, it's big players too. I mean, Sears is going to go bankrupt. JCPenney's is going to go bankrupt. There was a time during last year that Macy's, if you looked at their stock price, their real estate portfolio was actually worth more than the company itself. So Macy's, the brand name and everything, was actually worth negative money at one point. So it's I think it's going to take 10 plus years for this all to shift over. And the next Macy's is being created online right now by people like us, you know?
That's fantastic. So research is the first step. All right, you've done a research, and I know there's a lot to this as well. You know, there's only so much that we can cover in the time that we have. But tell us, after you've done research, you find a niche product, right? And what other criteria is within on the research are we looking for?
So on the research, the thing I'm really looking for, I always want to find newer products, right? But what I'm really looking for is a balance between two metrics that you'll see on Amazon. The first one is something called BSR. BSR stands for bestseller rank, and it's basically, you know, if you're the number one BSR on Amazon, that means you are the number one best-selling product on Amazon right now today. So the BSR is Amazon's ranking system for how it's, you know, telling what products are really selling. So BSR, you can see that with any product. And then the other thing I like to see is the number of reviews, right? Because if I can find a market that has a low BSR, meaning it's selling a lot, and it has a low number of reviews, which means that it's a new market and not many people are competing in it yet, that's really what I'm looking for at the end of the day.
And well, quick question also, and with research, you know, how do you come up with finding some of these products? Are there, you know, different websites or tools that you use to find, you know, what is the new hot product? Like, do you go to Pinterest and see if people are pinning things a lot? I know of like Wish.com, and there's other websites out there.
Yeah, I think those are great places to look. Another great place to look is actually on Amazon. I always like to see who is promoting products on Amazon. On Amazon, you can go on and see the sponsored products all over the place. And if you just search for sponsored within the Amazon page, you can see that. And the sponsored products, you know, if someone's advertising a product, that means not only is it selling, but it's making really good money because they're paying for the products, they're paying for the shipping, the Amazon fees, and they're paying for ads. So those are typically really good products. And one thing that I really recommend for my coaching clients in this is something I call passions, interests, hobbies, and pain points. So literally taking out a piece of paper, because we all run into these things all day, every day. We're all, you know, how often, you know, there has to be a better way. So just writing that down on paper, problems I'm having, pain points I'm having, things I'm touching throughout the day, just really being more conscious about the pain points and the products and the trends that you interact with on a daily basis. That's actually one of the best ways I've found, because there's great product ideas hidden all around us. It's just most of us don't really look at it, you know? So just having that piece of paper is really going to help you just consciously watch for trends to happen. Like again, bath bombs, right? Huge trend right now, so.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, Will. And again, Will, we are very happy that you are here with us. And also, if you are watching us or listening to us, you are watching on Facebook Live. It's at The Launch Radio. And also, we are live on WNN, and that would be available on iHeartRadio. You have to go to the search box, and you have to put Miami area, and you have to put WNN, and you can go ahead and find us on 95.3 FM and 1070 AM, 1470 AM. Again, it's 1470 AM. And if you have any questions for John, for Jose, for myself, and especially for Will, you can call us at 1-888-565-1470. Again, it's 1-888-565-1470.
Or leave your comment on Facebook Live.
That's right, yes. And I just want to give shout out to all our Facebook Live guests. You are doing wonderful. We're getting the likes, the loves, and all the shout out for Will, for Jose, and for John, and for myself. Thank you guys for being with us.
Fantastic. So, Will, so after you've researched and you kind of found your pretty good product that has a good BSR and not as many reviews, so what's the next step after that?
Right. So far we've essentially brainstormed products, and we've ideally found a couple products that are newer markets, newer niches, right? Low BSR means it's selling a lot, and low number of reviews means that there's no one really established that owns that market yet. So I would really recommend putting together a bunch of those ideas, really spend like just a day. Again, out in your everyday life. Keep track of all those ideas. Once you have those ideas kind of listed out, the next step is to, we've brainstormed products. Now we need to actually research these products and see, are they profitable? What can we get these products for? So we're going to start to find the source of these products. Who's our supplier going to be, and what kind of prices are they offering? So one site, really the only site you're going to need to know about sourcing products from overseas, from China, from anywhere really, Alibaba.com.
Alibaba, baby.
Yeah.
That's the motherland of all the products.
Yes, absolutely. And most people don't realize this, but I mean, Alibaba is like the Amazon of the world, right? Amazon's huge here, but Alibaba is huge everywhere else. The largest company to ever go public on the U.S. stock market was Alibaba, was a Chinese e-commerce company. So, so really impressive. But since Alibaba has gone public on the stock market and everything, it's really gotten a lot safer. They really police it well. There's not many, back when I started, when I was 13 and I got started with this, there were a lot of bad suppliers on Alibaba. These days, though, it's very, very safe. They really regulate it well. And so that's the place that I usually go to get the prices for these products, right? So I have a list of all these products I brainstormed, and now I need to go figure out, can I actually profitably buy and sell these things? So I usually go to Alibaba and just start searching. I don't do any buying requests or anything, because if you submit a buying request and say, hey, I want bath bombs, well, you're going to get all the worst suppliers messaging you, right? You really want to go out and find the best suppliers. So just search for your product and look for gold suppliers. Look for people with transactions, which when you're searching on Alibaba, these things will just be up on the right. It'll say, this person has been a gold supplier, which means they're kind of the top tier supplier. And it'll also say how many transactions they've done on the Alibaba platform. And I usually just try to find 5 or 6 suppliers and look at what's called the FOB price. And the FOB cost, or the FOB price, is essentially what you're going to pay for that product, right? And I would recommend just putting it in a spreadsheet. And John, I'd be happy to give you the spreadsheet that we give our audience. I'm sure your audience would love that.
Absolutely.
As well. But so I'll make sure to get that to you, and you can put it on thelaunchradio.com. But yeah, I would recommend putting these all in a spreadsheet and then just looking at the margin, right? If I'm selling a product for $20 and I'm buying it for $10, that's going to be a 50% margin, right? So I would just go through and start listing and find where are those high margin ideas that you've come up with, and ideally find 1 or 2 products that just really speak to you. The margin looks good. You'll never find a perfect product, right? You'll never find a product that you're looking at it and all of a sudden you're just confident about everything in business. That's not how it works. As John and the Launch Radio has probably taught you, eventually you have to take that leap of faith, right? So I'd really recommend putting the day into brainstorming, putting a day into research, and then going with your gut at the end of that, and deciding on a product or 2 that you're going to go launch. Because guys, Amazon is growing fast. The entire e-commerce industry is growing fast, and right now we're in a rapid growth period that if you just get products out there, you have a really good chance of success. So make sure that you aren't stalling and overthinking and, analysis paralysis. You really want to go with whatever product speaks to you at that point, I think.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So there's a slide that love to put up if we can. It kind of shows that business model that we're talking about now. Well, that's coming up. If you go to thelaunchradio.com/Amazon, thelaunchradio.com/Amazon, you can actually, people can get more information about this business model. So we'll put up the spreadsheet there, but for now they can learn more about it, and we'll keep that link up live. So as this video replays later on, you guys can go there and find some resources about this business model. So all right. So tell us a little bit about the next step. What do we do after that?
So there's, you found you did the research, found your product. Now, everyone's worried, how much inventory do I need to buy? Am I going to be shipping this? How much is all that? So what is the next step after, decided on the product?
Yes, you are exactly right. That is definitely the next concern. Yeah, just to close up the last step too, you know, understand for people just getting started in this, finding a product is the spot that most people fail because they won't take that leap of faith. So I do really want to stress too, at a certain point, you gotta put the time in, do the research, but understand that there's thousands of product opportunities out there for this business model. There's thousands of products that'll do well on Amazon. So you do have to take that leap of faith eventually. Now, once you've decided on which product you're going to take that leap of faith on, now we get to actually launch this business, right? Now we get to start executing, and that's when we have the most fun here on the Launch Radio, I think so.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what we're
absolutely.
here for.
The launch, baby. So in that process, tell me a little about that.
Yeah, so at this point, we have a product we're going to launch. We're set. We're going with it. Now we need to find the actual supplier that we're going to get the first order from. And I recommend that your first order is 5 to 10 units, right? And most suppliers, when you reach out to them, they're going to tell you, you got to buy 100 units, you got to buy 500 units. Don't worry about that. What I'm going to recommend is reaching out to that supplier, whichever supplier you want, right? When you're searching for suppliers on Alibaba and they're gold suppliers, you can be confident in the vast majority of those.
Okay.
So
And Will,
pick
just
one.
really quick, Will, we have something in our screen right now, roadmap to build an e-commerce empire. So this is something that, you know, we got from Startup Brothers. And tell us more about this. Well, you know, our viewers and listeners are seeing it on their screen right now.
Yeah, there's a research.
So this research stage is where we're at right now. This is, you know, brainstorming products, researching how profitable products are going to be, and then eventually taking that leap of faith, right?
Okay.
So now we're getting into the sourcing phase. This is when we're going to go find that supplier that we're actually going to get this product from. We want to order samples too. That's the big thing, right? We got to get samples so we can see this product, and what we're actually going to do is sell those samples. After we sell those samples, we have a product that we know sells. We have a supplier that we know is great. So now it just becomes a matter of selling more, right? So now we really scale things up on Amazon. We start buying bigger, you know, bulk orders and things like that. And then, you know, the great thing about this business model is once you have a product up and selling on Amazon, it continues to sell. You know, it's not like you have to be on the phone every day making sales. It just sells.
Yeah, it's
So at that
passive
point, you
income.
can scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So at that point, you can just scale it up, right? Find more products. What I would recommend is, you know, turning this into a brand, having 3 or 4 different products in your product line. And in that way, you can kind of sell more of all your different products. So, so that's really the entire roadmap, you know, in a nutshell. And I guess where we're at right now is the sourcing part of that, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to sourcing products, again, just find the supplier that you really like best. People always think that there's a, you know, best supplier. Oh, I want, you know, a certain kind of supplier. There's honestly thousands and thousands of suppliers out there. And when you're going with a supplier, it's much different than, you know, going out to Walmart and buying a product like we do in the Western world. In the Eastern world, it's very relationship based, right? All of business over there. So go with whatever supplier you like to work with the most, because a lot of suppliers can produce similar quality products, right? So if I decide to go with bath bombs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on Alibaba. I'm going to put bath bombs in the search bar, and I'm going to go through and message the top 5 suppliers with products that I like. So when I message those suppliers, what I generally say is, you know, hi, my name's Will, and I work for. I never say that I'm the boss to a supplier. And that's a good little hack for your listeners. Yeah.
And what's
it
the
just buys you
reason?
so
What's
much
the reason
breathing
why you don't tell them?
Well, it just buys you so much breathing room in that, you know, for people that are just starting out with this business, you know, you're going to make mistakes. You got to accept that. So if I reach out to a supplier and I say something a little off, and they think I'm the boss, well, now they're going to just stop talking to me because they think, you know, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, okay.
If
That's
I
a
make
good
that
tip.
same mistake, if I make that same mistake and they think that I am just a purchasing director or business development or even a secretary for a bigger company,
Yeah, you'll
all
be
of a
the
sudden
Will,
now-
Will the intern.
Yeah, exactly. And now all of a sudden they're saying, man, this must be a big company, so I'm going to really go out of my way to help this person rather than just ignoring me, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And better negotiation leverage too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, my boss, you know, he really needs this price lower, man. There's nothing I can do. All right. It's my boss.
My job's on the line.
Yeah. And then, Will, I just want to share with you that we have Kenny, and he wanted to say thank you for all the great tips that you're giving him and our audience for today. That's wonderful. A lot of people that you are actually, you know, taught and, you know, coach is with us today, and they're supporting this amazing Amazon and making money movement. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. And by the way, I am very impressed that you guys can show these Facebook Live comments on the screen. This is awesome.
Right. It's the launch, baby. That's the power of the launch radio. And I'm very happy that you're here. We're happy you're here.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so if you guys want to keep talking about this business model, I can talk all day. So you guys let me know.
Yeah. So just if you, I guess, to finish this part that we're doing. So if so from here, you know, something that I know you teach is the amount of products that you test with. You know, you don't want to put a big order. So when you're sourcing, you find the right guy. You know, you everything looks right for the numbers, you know, wise. Then you want to test it out. Make sure that the product it is what it is, that it's going to work out before you put a lot of money into it. So something I heard you teach is to start with 10 products, you know, and be able to get an idea of the quality. And also the way that you get them to send it to you, it's also through their shipping account, right? Over air. Get them to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very important part. Really, the tough thing about this business that most people screw up on is they don't know how much to order and when to order it, right?
Yeah.
The scaling up process and the rollout process is really the toughest part. So yeah, John, I think that's one of the most important parts for starting out is understanding what I call the sample selling process.
Yeah.
And I am sure you're going to talk to your listeners about the lean startup methodology if you haven't already.
Yeah, no, it's 1 point.
So this is basically the sample selling process is essentially the lean startup methodology adapted to e-commerce businesses. So what I want to do here is get the product in the door and get it out to a customer to test all of my assumptions, right? I'm assuming that it's going to sell for a certain price. I'm assuming that customers are going to like it, but I don't really know that until I get it into a customer's hand and they pay me money. So yeah, I think order 5 to 10 samples from this supplier and just get those first and send them out yourself, sell them on really anywhere you can. But the goal is to get these things into the hands of paying customers to ensure that this product and this supplier is good before you go buy 100 or 500 units.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like that, right?
And get some feedback on that, and also sell it for the price you intended to sell it. You got to really be able to test that it could sell at the price you want to sell it. So the key is just sell it, baby. You know, whatever it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is the key with most business, right? A lot of people like to we all deal with this, right? Analysis paralysis. The difference between someone like myself or anyone that's hosting this show right now is, as you're seeing, right? We just go out there and do it. We don't really think about it, but the result of that tends to be the best possible result, right? You got to take action as an entrepreneur. And you have to accept that you're never really going to be 100% certain on these things.
That's right.
And, learn to live with 90% certainty, and you're going to be a really successful
and just roll with
entrepreneur.
it. Yeah.
Yep, just roll with it. So, Will, I do have a question for you. So, you know, now we've tested these products. We got some feedback from people. They like it. It's selling at the price we want. You know, we placed that order for a whole bunch of units. Where are we keeping all this inventory? You know, drop shipping it through Amazon, shipping it out of the home. What is your recommended process as far as how do you coach people for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So that first order and really the first 5 or 10 orders, you can actually have your supplier do the shipping for you. And that's what I typically do. I have suppliers that I order, you know, millions of dollars of product a year, and they do all the shipping. I don't know, you know, what's going on with it. They just do it for me. So I would really recommend that. When you're first starting out, you don't want to deal with importing products. You don't want to deal with shipping. So have your supplier just say, this is all you have to say to your supplier, can you please use your express shipping account? And just saying that means that the product will magically appear at your front doorstep or wherever you want it to, and that's all you got to do. And it's so cheap because your supplier is probably shipping a lot of product. Whereas if you call DHL and say, hey, I want this product shipped, it's going to be 100% of the cost. They probably get 60, 70% off on their shipping account. So it's much cheaper and much easier to just use your supplier shipping account when you're first starting
Absolutely.
out.
Yeah.
And much faster.
Wow.
You don't want to stick with the 2-month wait, doing it the other way.
Yeah. And again, I just want to remind everybody that you would ask it like, my boss asked me if you can use your account.
Yeah, absolutely. People really underestimate how powerful that is. So yeah, really worth mentioning. Out of every tip I'm going to give today, that is the easiest, right? There's no work involved. You just say, hey, I work for someone else, and it really does make a difference.
Absolutely. Cool, man.
So other than that, I do want to answer. Jose asked about the other side of the supply chain, right? So now we know how to get this product from China to the U.S. using our supplier shipping account, or anywhere, right? It doesn't have to be China. It can be India. It can be France, wherever. So now we've gotten this product over. How do we actually get this product to a customer, though? So your first few orders, you might want to ship out yourself, right? Those first 5 to 10 units. Maybe you get those at your house and you ship them out yourself. But after that, you're going to want to use Amazon FBA. And to give a quick rundown of what FBA is really what's driving the growth of Amazon. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, and it's Amazon's fulfillment center. And for anyone who doesn't know what a fulfillment center is, it's essentially a warehouse that will act as your warehouse. So you're going to ship all your product to this fulfillment center. They're going to store the inventory for you, and whenever you make a sale, they're going to take it off the shelf, ship it out with your name on it. So this is the other great thing about Amazon is all of the shipping, all of the logistics is nearly automated through Amazon FBA. So we just have to get products to FBA's warehouses. They don't have any minimums. They have very loose requirements. It's very cheap to do. So get those products in Amazon's warehouses, and now we are hooked into Amazon's fulfillment network, and everything's going to get to the customer in 2 days or less, right?
Amazon Prime is a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
2-day shipping.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about that is that for returns, a lot of that customer service stuff, Amazon handles that for you. So you don't have to be shipping stuff and everything. There might be some things you might deal with, like with customers, as far as replying to them and making sure you provide a good service. But the actual fulfillment and returns and everything, the billing of it, all handled by Amazon.
Yeah, 24/7.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even now even sales taxes handled by Amazon. I mean, they have made it so easy for new entrepreneurs to go on and start selling. It's again, I think anyone that's not doing it hasn't tried because it's just that easy right now.
Definitely. So there's a lot of details, that we can obviously cover in the time that we have. So you do a weekly webinar that is incredible. I've been on it. And really you go more in depth, and it's absolutely free. So we like to invite our listeners to come check out your webinar. And the way you get to it is very easy. Just thelaunchradio.com/Amazon. And that's it. Just go there, and that will redirect you to a landing page where you can learn about it, and you can sign up totally free. And then from there you check it out and you learn more about it. You can get some takeaways that you could actually apply, and it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see any Launch Radio guests there. Make sure if you do end up on our weekly webinar, make sure you say Launch Radio or something so I can say hi. Those weekly sessions are about 2 to 3 hours of getting really nitty gritty on this stuff. So everyone's obviously welcome.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so if someone's looking for more information, really want to understand this process more, they can join your webinar and learn everything they need to know
for free.
So I guess
webinars for free.
Whoever is ready to just take that leap of faith, this is it. The Launch Startup Brothers, this is the answer.
Yep. So thelaunchradio.com/Amazon.
That's right.
Yes,
Cool,
and
man.
you have my express guarantee that will be the most valuable webinar you've ever seen. Very different than most webinars. We get very, very in depth on how you can actually execute and launch this business.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. So we have the launch. We have time for the launch fuel.
Launch fuel
The
time.
launch fuel.
And will be part of our launch fuel today.
Yes. So what that is for the new listeners is that we're going to talk about 3 different things: your mindset, which is your attitude for success; your skill set, which is your knowledge that you need to succeed as an entrepreneur; and your health, because you need to. What is an airplane?
It's a motorcycle.
Motorcycle, something. And your health, because you need the energy to succeed. So let's start off with the mindset. And so Will, I know you have something you want to share on the mindset aspect. Tell us, what is your tip of the week for the mindset of the entrepreneur?
So I hope this is the same tip I emailed you last night. But my big tip, my big tip though is, as entrepreneurs, right? I dropped out of high school, right? I don't have a high school diploma, no college diploma. And that's been actually one of the biggest benefits for me, because what I've seen in entrepreneurship is, school and college and all this, it teaches you this black and white version of passing and failing, as if there's some right and wrong to everything, right? It makes everything very black and white. As an entrepreneur, you have to get very, very comfortable with failure and understand that you're going to fail a lot, but it's not a test, right? Because every time you fail, you are permanently, for the rest of your life, going to be a better entrepreneur. And when you get out there and you see these gurus, these people that these Mark Zuckerberg types that just know everything, and they're these gurus, the way you become a guru and the way you develop the best entrepreneurial gut instinct possible is through failing time and time and time again, but not being affected by it, right? So you have to, as an entrepreneur, really understand that failure equals success, and that failure is experience points, right? If it's a video game, it's experience points for you to level up as an entrepreneur.
It's key. It's key to success, because how my point of view on that is, you really need to be not afraid to fail.
Got to jump in.
You got to jump in, put yourself in the court. Got to have confidence in yourself that you can do it, and you just got to go for it, because you surprise yourself. Sometimes, you might not, you kind of doubt yourself. Could I really do this e-commerce business? Could I really launch a business? Could I really take this idea? And you just have to not be afraid to fail. Yeah. And then when you do, then just see it as an opportunity to learn something, and you're getting closer to success.
Wow. So we basically launch a new perspective on F. On school, F is F. In entrepreneurship, F is an A. I love that.
Yeah, it's a step closer to success. And especially when you're prototyping products, you want to get to those failures quickly. You want to learn quickly. You don't want to have those, be able to work on a product forever and not find out about something early enough in the business model product launch stage. So it's applied to the prototyping, to your samples. If they suck, you want to find out about them soon, so you can find the ones that do work for you. So fail quickly, learn, get up, and just keep going, because that's what matters at the end.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Will, for that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
So next part is your skill set, which is the knowledge that you need to make it. So I know Willie had a book that you want to recommend. Tell us about the book and why you think it's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, John. Which book did I send you last night?
Which one?
Your Brain at Work. That's right.
Yeah. Your Brain at Work.
So this book was probably the book that helped me the most. Out of every book I've read, this book had the most immediate and profound impact. It is really about how to be a more effective and productive entrepreneur in general, and just person. Your Brain at Work, it basically teaches you the mechanics of how your brain works and when you get stressed out, when you have too much to do. It talks about what is actually happening in your brain when you experience these things, and then it gives you very simple tools to actually deal with it. And this book, it's going to be tough for me to even sell it, I guess. But as you read this thing, it's like epiphany after epiphany, because you just start to. All of us know inherently that we should write things down, right? But when you actually read about how the brain works and how much more effective you can be as an entrepreneur and as a worker if you just get things out of your brain and on paper, we can talk about it all day, but when you see the scientific research behind it and how easy it is to accomplish that, you will immediately start taking the advice from this book.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really about neuropsychology, but super highly recommended.
Yeah, I love neuroscience as a marketer. It's something that I've been studying for quite some time, and we're so easily susceptible to so many different things. It's like it's incredible how all of us, but we use it in a positive way, learning about how the mind works and be able to apply that to create healthy habits, to create habits that are going to bring you success and be able to train the mind and the neural paths in your brain.
I will definitely order it on Amazon.
Luckily for you, we actually already have it.
Oh, well, lucky for me, we actually have it. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
time to read up.
I'm a big fan of Audible, by the way. It's, sometimes I don't have time to read all the time.
Yeah.
But Audible, I just get the audiobook version and I just go through books so much faster.
Yeah, it is a lot easier. I started doing that recently, and it helps, during your drive to work or on your way home, just cruising around. It definitely, you can listen to a lot of books that way.
See, all these entrepreneur secrets are all coming up.
Yeah. So if you guys, so if someone's not familiar with Audible, if you have a hard time like sitting down and reading, it takes you a long time to get through books. Doesn't mean you stop reading, but this could be an alternative for you to get through them faster and quicker.
Yes.
I literally have hundreds of books. My library is massive, and they were all paid for. No hacking or whatever. It took me some years to put that together, but it's hundreds of audiobooks. I'm on Audible all the time.
All right.
So no wall full of books. You have a whole iPod full of books.
Actually, I still have a wall full of books. When there's a really good book on Audible that I like, I buy the print version.
Okay.
So just to be able to reference it better.
Yeah.
And sometimes I give it as gifts also to friends and clients.
Yeah, I can actually see the wall behind Will. It's full of books too.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'm a big fan. One really good thing you can do too, with any book that I really like, I'll grab the Audible version and the print version, and then in the future, if you want to reference it, you can play it at like 2 times speed and just read along, and you can get all the benefits in half the time, basically, just speed reading through.
There you go.
That's a good point.
See, because again, Will is very busy looking for those products on Amazon. So you want to cut the time and just use the Audible sometimes. Yeah.
And also, for people who do use Audible, there is you can clip notes on it. So if you have something that's like, oh man, I really got to reference this.
Yeah.
Put down those notes on there. Add those clips on there because you can put the name of what that is, because it's so later on you could easily reference them and kind of pull those key things that you're going to need.
Yeah, so
easier to find.
So Jen, I just want to let you know quickly that we have a question on Facebook. I'm not sure if it's too late now to ask Will, but they can find, Will on
thelaunchradio.com/Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, there you go. So Kenny G. Elliott, we will definitely make sure that will see your question, and we're going to go ahead and answer it on www.launchradio.com/Amazon.
Yeah. So the other book, we have time to talk about one more amazing book. And this is something that I use with my entrepreneurs as well, the people that I work with, and it's called Disciplined Entrepreneurship by Bill Outlet. Let me see if it comes up over there. But this is an incredible book. We're 24 Steps to a Successful Startup, and it was put together by the MIT, the school, MIT, and this is their entrepreneurship department. They have had some of the most successful startups, the amount of volume in startups. There are really not that many universities kind of match to the success that they've had.
Maybe Stanford.
Stanford
coming up there.
Stanford would say is up there, but not even like Harvard.
Right.
Just really MIT, Stanford, and just a few handful.
Yep.
And it's a great way to incorporate into your product launch. So this is not necessarily meant for a private label, but there's definitely a lot of learnings here that you could apply towards the private label business model. And the marketing plan that I shared with you guys on the first episode actually incorporates this into that. So a lot of those learnings are there, and part of building your MVP is diving into these steps and how to build that MVP in a proper way.
Nice.
So that is it. It's called Discipline Entrepreneurship: 24 Steps to a Successful Startup.
Yes, Bill.
John, I was going to say too, discipline is really what's missing from entrepreneurship right now. So I'm literally going to buy that book right after this call because discipline is the issue right now.
Yeah.
One thing that I always heard when I was a kid, and I'm sure you guys are the same, I always used to hear, "I'm bored," right? We now live in a world where you can't be bored, and that's good from one perspective, but it also means that we are chronically distracted. We are just drowning in distractions, honestly. And discipline and focus are two of those things that are really, really important in entrepreneurship. And in a world where everybody else is distracted, you being able to focus and be disciplined, that's going to be such a competitive advantage for you down the road because no one else is doing it anymore. Everyone else is too distracted to build anything great. So, yeah, I think that's a great book recommendation.
Awesome. So the last part is the health tip. So we have enough time for this. We got a few minutes. So we'll go right ahead. I know you had a health tip that you want to share.
Yeah. And I actually had some health issues recently. Surprisingly enough, I found out one day that I had cancer. So I don't anymore. I'm clean now.
Congratulations, Will.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You look pretty good for having cancer not that long ago, too, man.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 months ago or so. Honestly, I got lucky. I caught it very, very early. So, but it did shock some health tips back into me. So, as an entrepreneur, it's really easy to get into this hustle mentality where you have a very imbalanced life. And,
Absolutely.
And John and I come from an event called Startup Bus. That's where we met, and it's basically the most stressful thing possible. So, so yeah, what I did recently is it might even be, for me, it was less expensive. For some people, it might be a little bit more expensive, but I honestly think this is the future of food for entrepreneurs, is I have a catered health meal service now. So I have outsourced my ability to pick what I eat. I have someone else doing it now, right? And it costs me like $6.50 a meal, so it's really not even that bad. I think I pay like $21 a day for food, and I basically get 3 super balanced meals, properly portioned, under 2,000 calories, and I just have more energy now than I've ever had, eating fruits and vegetables, and I also save like 2 hours a day because my girlfriend used to get home every day, and it was, well, what do you want to eat tonight? I don't know.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So just not having that conversation has probably saved me 2 hours a day, and that's an incredible thing for an entrepreneur. So more energy, healthier, with less effort, and it's cheaper for me. And I think that's one of the best decisions I've made in my life, probably, because that's a lot of benefits with not many downsides.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And locally
Nice.
in South Florida, you can get your meal fully prepped, or if you still like to cook at home, another alternative to that is that you can get like fresh produce delivered directly to your house that are fully organic and fresh and ready to go. So one recommendation for local South Florida area, FreshLifeOrganics.com. You check it out, that they deliver to you directly to your door once a week, and it's all organic.
Yes.
So if you want to whip it up at home, that way you get the healthy stuff without the pesticides, without all of the negative stuff that's out there and all the food.
And you still get the experience
and
of
everything.
cooking. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have time for that, or you could balance it too. You could do some meal preps, and then you could get the food organics produce
that's
delivered
a good idea.
to your house.
One thing you'll see in that book, Your Brain at Work, is we only have a certain amount of decisions that we can make every day, right? So
Yeah.
my ability to outsource the decisions that I was making about food means that I can make higher quality decisions in my business rather than on what I'm eating today, right? So highly recommended for people to check out, and just a good concept too. You got to outsource decision making, because that's the real
All
finite
right.
thing, right?
Well, thank you so much for being with us. This is an amazing episode too. I totally love it. And again, thank you everyone for listening to us on The Launch Radio. If you have any question, please go to our Facebook page. It's at The Launch Radio, and we also have Instagram, and we can always be heard every Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at WNN, and it's going to be 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. And I think that's it. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, and thank you, Will. Thank you, Will, for coming on, sharing your amazing secrets. You could find out more about Will Mitchell at thelaunchradio.com/Amazon. And we had a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys next week. We'll continue the learning, continue the launch fuel, continue the growing. So let's do it. Have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, again, this is Gisa.
Jose.
Thank you so much.
And this is John Madrano. Peace.
You have been tuned in to The Launch, where we help you build engaging and meaningful brands. Connect with us on the web at thelaunchradio.com and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at The Launch Radio.
Hi, this is Kai Kawasaki. Thanks for listening to The Launch.
The opinions expressed on the